Alright, hello and welcome ladies and gentlemen. So this video is a little bit more serious than usual. This isn't going to be me asking you to listen till the end. This is going to be me begging you to listen till the end for full context. I've been waiting to finally cover this because it's going to be about the hacking situation with Ohm that happened a while back, and it took a while because of the dangers of the situation that happened behind the scenes. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Hope you stick around till the end. And also, I do not condone any form of harassment or death threats. The whole list of things that can put someone else's well-being in danger. Do not harass him, do not attack him or threaten him. I understand your anger, but please try avoiding that at all times. Despite me making multiple videos of him, us attacking him only makes things worse for those who want to clear the air to the situation or are simply trying to stop the situation. There's a difference between an opinion and an insult, so please keep those lines clear at all times. Now, the hacking situation. So this all started with a streamer by the name of Lilithan, who was streaming with her friends about the drama surrounding Ohmwrecker, Delirious, and the supposed victims of the situation. Everything seemed normal till after the stream, where her viewers and Lilithan were being attacked, and the members, specifically from TJV server, were being hacked as well. Now, the timing of that happening at the moment rose speculation towards Ohm's community, since a lot of the people accused Ohm's community. A 16-year-old with Asperger's had his Twitch deleted and his Twitter hacked and was harassed, attacked, and told even to kill himself, almost causing that to happen because of these people and this drama that followed on Twitter involving Lilithan and the 16-year-old. Now, the following tweets that I will be showing are a follow-up to what I said in the beginning. These arguments are between Ohm and Lilithan due to the fact that Ohm still decides to drag the 16-year-old's name, who was horribly affected by this despite wanting nothing to do with Ohm anymore. Now, Lilithan simply wanted to defend both the 16-year-old and herself, and Lilithan and the 16-year-old are also close friends. I will read out the tweets, then I'll have a good friend involved in this situation explain a little more as to what really happened and clear the smog of lies made by Ohm. But here we go with the tweets. So for the first tweet, I'm only going to read the bottom part. The top part is not important to the situation, so here we go. TJ is continuing to run with absolute false, unvetted bullshit. Notice how he didn't retract the hacking video when police visited the user. And then Lilith said, the hacking was real, there is evidence. Your community had a high probability of being involved because of the timeline of events. The 16-year-old was hacked and many others. 2 people went to the police, and I won't say more on that. You try to trickle on false facts. You try to trickle in false facts and twist stories to fit a narrative of you being the victim because that's all you've ever seen yourself as. People aren't as dumb as you think. Want to talk about taking things too far? If you cared about victims, you wouldn't have exposed a girl you thought was a victim yourself. All you cared about is glorifying yourself as a hero, and when it doesn't go your way, turning yourself into the poor victim. You've mass banned people because of their relations to others. You should stop talking about other people's experiences like you know them. Stop bringing up the 16-year-old who you call the cops on because he stopped bringing you up. He is not a sword in your fight, so don't you dare weaponize him. You have no idea what the people who have experienced these hacks and threats have been through and the fear they have to face. Instead of doing what any good YouTuber would do, you call them liars. You should have accepted the possibility of some probability that the targeted attacks came from your community. Any reasonable YouTuber worth their salt would have addressed the situation and their communities and asked them not to commit those actions if they were doing it as just a precaution. But you were too focused on yourself and you being the victim. Ohm replies with, my community does not know you exist. I don't have a community Discord. I don't talk about you in streams or videos. Ace was going through a crisis. The police had to contact him and his legal guardians. He even expressed his quote-unquote plan ahead of doing it in Discord. I encourage anyone making the claims to talk to the police. Trust me, authorities are already involved. It's why Ace was located and contacted quickly by authorities. No one tied to me was hacking anyone, period. Sort it out with your local police. They can contact me. Then Lilithan responded with, the fact that you keep bringing him up when he stopped talking to and about you just shows the type of man you are. You are so absorbed with your own agenda to see the wrongs you do. You are 38, act like it. You don't know 100% that your community wasn't involved. They were pretty to block any and everyone who doesn't agree with you, even if they were still your fan. You are blind Ohm. And then Ohm responds with, also shame on all of you for taking advantage of his situation when he was clearly in a state of crisis. When he expressed he attempted suicide, not a single one of you tried to contact the authorities. Not one. You all just wanted a scummy story. My contacts had to intervene. So Lilithan then responded with, shame on us. Plenty of people told them to walk away from the situation. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about, so don't pretend like you do. And then Ohmwrecker responded with, I don't know, I've talked with the state police officer personally. You should have immediately tried to contact the police and or get in touch with his family. Again, shame on you, fucking disgusting. Just so you can try to protect your childhood, quote unquote, as your real allegations surface. Now Lilithan, again, stop harassing me, stop making alts to get around blocks and bans, leave me alone. Alternatively, have your police contact me/my city police. I'll introduce them to the authorities already involved. They can audit my Discord and socials 100%. And then Lilithan responded with, he blocked me after his narcissistic ass got the last word, man is demented. And then Ohmwrecker finally replied with the last tweet being, because authorities are involved. How many times does this need to be said? This shit is not a joke, you are all interfering by creating so much bullshit and noise, even to the degree of police needing to intervene due to hacking allegations and threats of suicide and harm. So from what I read, he seems to deny the attacks on the 16-year-old who received death threats and harassment from Ohm's community. Ohm claims his community doesn't know them when he doesn't even know his own community. And again, for the second time, Lilithan and the 16-year-old don't want to be a part of the drama anymore, so I wanted to introduce y'all to a good friend of mine. His name is Damien. He will get more into depth with what really happened. Say hi to Damien.
Thank you, Childs, and hello to all the viewers of Childs' channel. My name is Damien, and as Child mentioned before, I will be going a bit more in depth about the situation, since I'm close friends with both the people involved. So, the hacking started around the 24th of July, when the 16-year-old had tweeted at Ohm about the drama with Hey So Delirious. There were like maybe 8 tweets at the time. These tweets are now deleted. We'll be getting back on that later. Though, in my opinion, tweeting 8 times at someone could not be considered harassment, even though Ohm did state that he did harass him, which is not the case. After that, the 16-year-old had come to both me and a few of her friends about getting hacked on Twitter and Twitch, which his Twitch account is actually still deleted to this day. It's also around the same time that Ohm did start to tweet about him. Also, a thing to mention is that Ohm might have doxed the 16-year-old to get his private information, because a friend of his got a text message stating something about him and his friend. Though at the time, his first and last names were never even mentioned before. After that, Ohm tweeted about having been in contact with the police. Sadly enough, I couldn't find any of those tweets myself. And I don't even know if they're still out there. It even came to a point that the 16-year-old actually tried an attempt on his life, because of all the death threats and harassment he's been facing from Ohm's community. Ohm even made some claims that we weren't there for the 16-year-old when all this went down, and that his connections had to intervene, which wasn't the case at all. Me and my friends were all in a call together, trying to figure out where he went, what happened to him, and how we could help him. A few hours later, we got a text message saying that he was okay, and that he was still with us. And to this day, we're still enjoying our time together and playing games. Anyways, back to the point at hand. Eventually, the 16-year-old had a talk with Ohm. He deleted his tweets, and then we thought the entire situation was over. Oh boy, were we wrong. Because not more than a week later, the 16-year-old got brought up again, and again, and again, to the point that the 16-year-old had asked not to be mentioned again. Which then again didn't happen. Ohm kept using his name for his own agenda and his own narrative, which is disgusting to think about that even happened. And yes, I am calling him out here, for the lies he told about my friends and myself. But in my opinion, I have every right to defend my friends and myself in any way, shape or form, even if that means calling him out. Anyways, as read in the tweets, he said we wanted a scummy story, which was never the case. We never even had any intentions of getting this information out in the public to begin with. What we wanted was to be left alone and just enjoy our times as a friend group. Ohm also stated there was a Discord server about him, which there technically was, but also was not. The server was never meant to be about any one person in specific. It was supposed to be a server for a podcast and for having genuine questions about any drama related topic. But some people turned it into a dedicated Ohm server, which we didn't condone at all. We called them out upon that, multiple times even. But after the last time of calling them out, we got into a discussion. We said that what they were digging up was sensitive information that we shouldn't be looking up at all. And we got kicked off the server because of the fact we didn't agree with what they were doing. Later on in the video, Child will go on to a bit more depth about this situation, so I would suggest waiting on that part of the video. Eventually, the 16-year-old decided to unplug himself from the situation. He made his final tweet on Twitter, thanking those who have helped in a time of need. Anyways, this is what I wanted to clear up. I hope it cleared up any misinformation out there, and I thank you for listening to me. Now back to Child.
Alright, thank you Damien. Now back to Lilithan. So she was actually very frustrated because of Ohm and his bullshit that he caused to other people that are involved. So I decided to go talk to her myself to see if she has anything she wants to say, and obviously she did. It's a little bit long, but please bear with me. This is yet another perspective for you to see from, just so you guys know that we're not lying to you. Like Damien, for example, we asked him individually to give his perspective, but here's what Lilithan had to say. I admit the wrongs I've done and I'll own my mistakes. One day, I decided I wanted to do a stream with someone and go over all the drama happening with friends. A lot of us were feeling like we weren't being heard, and I thought that as a victim of similar circumstances and a family member of someone who was proven to be falsely accused, I could give a new point of view, an outlook not many people had. During my streams, I stated multiple times that what is said is completely and utterly opinions. I do admit I made reference to one of the victims acting like one of my friends who has bipolar, but I stated very clearly I could not diagnose or confirm that. I also said I didn't want to discuss her mental health, and I thought that the way H2O mentioned certain aspects of it was not okay. I apologize that the victim's mental health was discussed. That was not okay. I did also get mad and start cussing Ohm. I lost my temper, but to be fair, who doesn't get serious and heated over serious topics? I apologize if me saying that affected him personally in a negative way, but to be fair, I didn't think someone with that large of a following would care about a girl who just that day reached 500 followers. I did tweet Ohm occasionally, and when I did, they were long Twitter threads because I am opinionated, but most of the time I was asking him for solid proof and telling him that calling people who don't follow blindly P-word defenders wasn't okay, because some of us were also victims ourselves after the hacking situation, after I brought attention to it trying to protect people and give them a heads up, which I believe was 3 or so days ago after the stream. And following our 16-year-old friend's life scare, I told the people of the server I was in and that I wanted to leave and take a step back from the situation because it was becoming too much for me to handle and I was dealing with health issues and it was affecting me physically. After discussing, I decided to stay to keep an eye on my friends and make sure they're okay from time to time, but I had completely attempted to move on from the subject of Ohm. This caused me to be removed as an admin of the server and lead me into creating a server for the purpose that the original one was supposed to be made for. My Twitch and join podcast, I let people from that server join the new one with the rule that Ohm was not allowed to be discussed. I only commented on Ohm's Twitter after he blocked my main account because he said the hackings people were experiencing were fake and he kept bringing up a 16-year-old with Asperger's that he previously called the police on, also whom he had told to remove all mentions of him from his Twitter. The 16-year-old in question did and apologized, yet Ohm still brings him up. I only knew this because I was DM'd about it. I made my little _snarky account and responded. Was I harsh? Yes, but I was accused of ignoring the health of someone I cared about and called quote-unquote fucking disgusting and quote-unquote scum. After he blocked me from my secondary account, I posted my thoughts on it and logged out and left Ohm and his drama behind once again. I was later DM'd by someone saying that a member of my Discord was brought up in a situation regarding drama that involved Ohm. This caused me to open the drama server about Ohm and message the person mentioning her. I asked her why the person who wished to be left out was brought up. Then I looked through the server and saw how far people were digging and I felt angry and disgusted. I called the owner and the person who was posting the information out. I told them why they were doing this was wrong, and this got me and the other people who agreed kicked after being called cult-minded. I may not like Ohm, but I would not stoop as low as to dig that much into someone. I didn't post any evidence in that server. I spoke out against the actions taken on Ohm's behalf. I own my mistakes. Everyone makes them. We are human, but I have no problem in owning them. And obviously after her sending me that, I thanked her for sharing her side with me, and this is the final thing that she had to say before I left. She said, "No problem, I understand if this sheds a bad light on me. I won't be mad about it. I don't agree with Ohm, nor do I like him, but I don't think anyone should be exposed that way that server was trying to." And so this leads to the conclusion of the video. She is also a commentator, link in the description for her channel and Damien's Twitter. If any Ohm fans or Ohm himself come after them or me, best believe I'm going to defend them and myself. So anywho, apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, say hi to Lady Lurk.
So, for those of you guys, gals, friends, family members, and all of the other words I could list off, I am Lady Lurk. Recently, I've changed most things about me due to this drama and seeing the after effects on those I know / have heard of. So far, you have heard some things from others and their perspectives. Don't quote me on this, but we aren't doing any of this for fame. We aren't doing this because we want to. I mean, partially, yes, but mainly to let others know partial truths. To get a better understanding of everything, and to acknowledge that you shouldn't believe everything you see on social media. Now, I've been watching the drama over the years. Over and over and over. I've seen innocents being dragged in, people arguing and releasing things that would have been viable in court, and just blatantly seeing how much all of this impacts more than just the people who were originally involved. It hurts me to think that any of these people could have been me, or someone I know in real life, or someone's loved one. It hurts to see friendships destroyed year after year after year, and for people to start walking away, for people to turn an eye the wrong way at someone, to just vanish in an instant, to be completely erased off of the platform for something they had no control of, or just how they were reacting to an insult. That's what I know as cancel culture, which includes myself, sadly, and probably many of the newer generations. I just want to say these last few words on this subject, which are A. We all have different opinions. B. Not everyone thinks the same and or reacts the same. C. Hurting those around you does not make you stronger. It makes you more of a jerkus cotton mather than anything else. Thank you all for listening in, and I hope that together, not just as individuals, can rise up and out of the shadows to share our truths. To not be afraid of those who are pushing each other down every day, but to say, I am here, and this is my story. Listening may be hard for most of us, but we gotta listen to make these things get better over time. We need all perspectives, and not just one or the others, and we shouldn't force it to be out there, but rather keep an open mind for whenever it comes out.
Alright, so that's the end of the video. That's all we have for you. If you're somehow watching this, by the way, state facts, not allegations. No, we did not harass you. No, we did not lie. No, people won't side with you because your name has been washed down to values less than dirt. We have nothing to hide. We have nothing to lie about. We're literally facing liars instead. Side with the truth, please. Even so, that's still your choice. But anywho, thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one. Subscribe if you're new. Laters.